She was 9 years old the day she lost it. A small blue wallet, scratched at the corners, a little too big for her tiny hands. Her mother had given it to her like it was something precious. Inside it wasn't much, a few coins, a bus card, and a folded piece of paper that said, "If you ever feel lost, come home." She didn't understand why she kept it there, but she always did. That afternoon, everything went wrong in small ways. She dropped her ice cream, missed the bus, got distracted by a street dog she tried to feed, and somewhere between all of that, the wallet disappeared. She only realized it at the bakery counter. "My wallet," she whispered. The cashier didn't care. The line behind her didn't care either. To the world, it was just a child losing something. But to her, it felt like her entire world had slipped out of her pocket. She ran back the way she came, calling out, searching benches, checking under trash bins. Nothing. By evening, she sat on the steps outside her building and cried silently, not loudly. The kind of crying children do when they learn the world doesn't always give things back. That night, she told her mother. Her mother didn't get angry. She just sighed and said something she didn't fully understand at the time. Some things come back, just not always when we expect. The next morning, a knock. Early, soft. Her mother opened the door. A man stood there, late 30s, raincoat slightly wet, holding something in his hand. The wallet. "I believe this belongs to your daughter," he said. No smile, no performance, just calm certainty. The girl froze behind her mother's leg. "That's mine," she said quickly. The man nodded. "Yes, I know." That sentence should have felt strange, but somehow it didn't. Her mother looked confused. "How did you find us?" The man hesitated, then simply said, "I followed the school papers inside." A pause. Then he added, "I didn't want it to get lost again." He handed it over carefully, like it mattered, like it was fragile, and then he turned to leave. No waiting, no reward, no name, just footsteps fading down the stairs. Years passed. Life replaced mystery. School replaced wonder. Childhood things got stored away in memory like old boxes. The man faded from her mind. Or at least, she thought he did, but the wallet stayed, not because of money, but because of the paper inside. "If you ever feel lost, come home." She kept it, even when she stopped believing in its meaning. 20 years later, she stood in a hospital corridor. Bright lights, cold floors, a place where time never felt like it belonged to anyone. She was a doctor now, the kind who didn't cry easily anymore, the kind who learned how to stay calm when everything else fell apart. That day, they called her urgently, a patient with no family present, no emergency contact, just a name on a chart. She read it once, then twice. Something in her chest tightened, not recognition, something deeper, like a memory that hadn't finished forming yet. Room 3414, she entered, machines breathing louder than the man on the bed. Old, very old, too still, too quiet. She began her routine, checking vitals, adjusting lines, speaking softly even though she wasn't sure he could hear her. Then she noticed something on the bedside table, a wallet, old, worn, blue. Her hands stopped midair. The room felt suddenly too small. She picked it up slowly, opened it. Inside was a folded paper, yellowed, fragile. Her breath caught before she even read it. The handwriting was unfamiliar, and yet somehow not. She unfolded it and read. "If you are reading this, then you found me before I found the courage to introduce myself." Her heartbeat slowed. "I was not a good man when I found you that day. I was tired of people, tired of the world, tired of myself. I had stopped believing small things mattered. But then I saw you crying over ice cream." A pause in the writing. "I don't know why that mattered, but it did. I returned your wallet, but I also followed you home that night." Her breath stopped. The room went quiet in a way hospitals are never quiet. Not to harm you, to make sure you were safe. And because for the first time in years, I felt responsible for something again. "I kept a copy of the note you had inside. If you ever feel lost, come home." I didn't have a home, so I started building one, slowly, by trying to be useful instead of invisible. Her fingers trembled slightly. She looked at him, still, barely holding on to life. "I don't know what you became. I don't know if you remember me. But I hope you did something better with your life than I did with mine before that day." A final line, smaller handwriting, fainter ink. "And if you became someone who helps people, then maybe I didn't waste the years that came after I returned your wallet." She lowered the paper slowly. Her throat tightened. not sadness, something heavier, something human. Hours later, he passed away quietly. No dramatic moment, no final words, just a monitor slowing down like a fading heartbeat, in a room that suddenly felt too full for silence. That night, she stayed late, not because she had to, but because she couldn't leave. She kept thinking about something she hadn't understood before, that sometimes the people who briefly touch your life don't disappear. They continue living inside the direction your life takes after them. Weeks later, she returned to a small street near her childhood home. The bakery was still there. The steps still cracked the same way. She sat down quietly, and for the first time in years, she didn't feel like a doctor, or a professional, or anything defined. Just a girl who once lost something and got it back from a stranger who never asked to be remembered. She opened her palm, nothing there, just air and memory. Then she whispered, "You changed everything, and I didn't even know your name." Soft piano swells, slow emotional rise, and somewhere in the quiet distance between past and present, a forgotten act of kindness finally finished its journey.